party animal, don't I, y'all? Okay, y'all, so I thought I would do a quick video right quick telling you guys how to be celibate, because that's a question that I get so often from my friends, from my family. Everybody's just like, girl, you better than me. Girl, I could not do that. Girl, for real? 3 years? And I'm like, yes. And it's really not as hard as everybody thinks it is. You think that having sex is natural. You think that it's something that your body can't be without because your body craves it. But in reality, sex is something that we are able to abstain from. God gives us that ability to abstain from sex. And I think that it's important that we all realize that sex is not like food, okay? You don't need it to survive. It may feel like it because our bodies were literally created to recreate or to create life, and in order to create life you need to have sex. So yeah, and God made it enjoyable. But I think that as long as you have, number one, an understanding of why you're doing it, like why are you celibate, why do you want to abstain, what is it that you aren't getting from sex that you feel that you should be getting. I think that's an important question to ask yourself. I think that's an important question to like ask the person that you're having sex with, because sometimes like we get so caught up in the feelings, and feelings aren't everything. Because I remember when after I was done having sex, sometimes I would feel like crap. I would feel like literally the most disgusting person on the planet. I didn't want anybody to touch me. I didn't want to talk. I just felt dirty and like I just didn't want to be here type of thing. So that's kind of one of the big reasons that I decided to stop having sex. Now, stop having sex, you have to be sure to give yourself time, because it's not easy. Once you hit a certain age and you start having sex, you know that you like sex, you know your body likes it, of course. You have to be able to give yourself a realistic goal of when you would like to stop having sex. Maybe wean yourself off, because that's what I had to do. I've been saying I was going to be celibate since I was like 16 years old, y'all. I was like, I ain't having sex, I'm celibate. Little boy come up to me talking about some boo, you so fine, I'm trying to be your man, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to put a ring on it one day. And I'm all like, oh my god, like my dummy self, of course I want to be with you. And honestly, like, it's not like that. So just be like honest with yourself. Another thing that I think is super duper important is to know where you want it to end. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, okay, I'm not going to have sex until I'm in a committed relationship. Some people say, you know what, I'm going to wait until I'm married. I don't think I could wait if I'm in a relationship. Yeah, that's true. You have to know your limits. You have to know what you can and can't handle. And if you do want to wait until you're married, or you do want to wait until you're in a committed relationship, you have to be sure to set boundaries and goals for you and your partner. You have to be honest with yourself and your partner and know that, you know, kissing definitely can lead to sex. And him kissing on your neck, because shoot, God, that is my sweet spot. You kiss on my neck, you only got nothing else, let go, you know what I'm saying? But for real, like, you have to know like your limits. You have to know what's gonna make you go overboard. So be honest with yourself. Okay, that's the biggest problem why people feel like they can't be celibate. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not telling yourself the truth. I had to really sit down and reevaluate. Like, I was over here, I was like 16 saying, okay, I'm gonna be celibate. I had been having sex for a little while, you know, different guys, I know, 16, yeah. Anyway, so I had to go through a journey of just finding myself, because I started really early, you know what I'm saying? And by the time I was 17 years old, God was like, you know what? I can't do a good work in your life if you won't let this go. Because honestly, guys, soul ties are so real. And sometimes when you let go of a relationship, or when you let go of something that you've been feeling shackled to, you start to see that, you know, this is the reason why you couldn't progress. This is the reason why you couldn't move forward in your life. So I think that it's important that we take time to really understand that, you know, sex isn't just like a feeling. It's not something that just feels good, because after the moment passes, you have to realize that you're still bound to this person some way, somehow. And lastly, going off of soul ties, Soul ties are so deep that it takes time to break each and every single one of them. For each man that I've ever laid with, for each man that's ever penetrated, all that good stuff, for all of those times, all of those instances, it took time, okay? It took 3 years. It took till this very moment, like maybe like a couple months ago, when I was finally able to say, you know what, God, I don't want any form of sex in my life. I want no form of lust in my life. I don't want to watch sex scenes anymore. I don't want to think about sex. I don't want to think about kissing. I don't want to think about being in a relationship, because those are just things that will happen when they happen. It's really important that you realize that when you give yourself time to heal from each of these relationships, each of these soul ties, you really gain a piece of yourself back. Because ultimately what happens is, when you exchange bodily fluids, when you have sex with somebody, is a piece of yourself goes with them. You know what I'm saying? If the relationship ends bad, if you don't have healthy sexual relationships, then it isn't healthy, and it just leaves you missing a piece of yourself that you once had. You no longer have that same innocence, or you no longer have that same light. You start to think of men a little differently. For men, they start to think of women a little bit differently. For me, it took a long time for each guy that I had sex with. It took until I really gave myself to God and really said, God, I want to give my sexuality over to you, because I'm a super sexual person, and I know that. I said, I want to give it over to you. I want to give my sex life over to you. I want to give my marriage over to you, my future marriage. I want to give it all over to you, because ultimately, you could be in a relationship for years, you could be celibate for years, and end up divorced, or end up not even getting married. So it's important to know that once you've entered in a sexual relationship, in order to break these ties, you have to give yourself time. It could take years. It could take years and years and years. It could take you a couple weeks. It could take you a couple months. I don't really know how it works for everybody, but for me, it took years to repair the damage that I caused myself. And so that is all I wanted to say in this video, because everybody thinks that being celibate is hard. It's not hard. If you know what you want, you know what your goal is, have some aspirations, have some goals outside of being in a relationship with a man or woman that honestly is not good for you. We are not dumb, okay? We know that relationships aren't everything, okay? I'm focused on building a business, building a future for myself. If I end up single for the rest of my life, that's okay, because shit, I'm gonna have some shmoney, okay? Like, it's really important that we keep in mind that we matter first, okay? Your relationship with God matters first. Focus on you. Focus on what really matters to you, what you really want, because sometimes you could get caught up in the same cycle with the same person and forget yourself, forget what you want, lose yourself in somebody else. So stop doing that. If you want to be celibate, do it. Ask me questions in the in the comment box below. I'm definitely here to answer any questions you may have. I know it's not